Hi everybody, welcome to week 10. This week will be Hi everybody, welcome to week 10. This week we'll be talking specifically about photos, and you'll get a chance to turn in a photo slideshow by the end of the week. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But first I just want to say that I have reviewed all of your midterm project planning forms. So please take a look at the feedback that I've submitted back to you through the Dropbox. This is where I've left comments on your plans, whether or not I think they're feasible. I think everybody's is feasible, but for some of you, if the topic was pretty broad, I just offered some suggestions on how to make it a little bit more specific, a little bit more newsworthy, a little bit more timely and relevant. So just make sure that you're looking at that, since I really am not getting a chance to talk to all of you face to face about your final projects. Of course, that offer is open. So if you do want to stop in my office and run some ideas past me, I would really advise that, since this is a bigger project, but certainly to at least get a start by looking at the feedback that I've left for you in the Dropbox, please do that. Probably the biggest thing that I want to emphasize with your final project, again, look to the syllabus where I've explained that in more detail. But I did leave this comment for some of you. Just keep in mind that all parts of the final project have to be original. You have to be doing them and creating them. So really think back to the first week of the semester where I had you write a news article. And if you need to, go back to week one. Go back to the week one module and look at some of the information that I gave then, because that was really the same concept. You need to get out there and do original reporting. You need to talk to people. You need to interview people. The way that some of these final projects were phrased in the planning forms, they sounded a lot more like research papers, and so that's not what you want to do. You know, this isn't an English class where I'm just having you compile some information about some really broad topic. You really have to go out there and report on the topic yourself. So all parts of it have to be original. So with the news story, you're doing interviews, you're talking to people, you're talking to experts, you're talking to people that your topic affects. With the photos, you're taking the photos. With the video, you're taking the video. And with the map or infographic, you're creating that map or infographic. So it's not all about compiling existing information that's already out there and putting it together. That's research. You know, that just shows me you can compile information together. This is a journalism class. It's a media class. So we really need to make sure that everybody is out there doing their own work and creating original materials for a multimedia project. So you're not going to be able to grab photos from the internet and use them in your slideshow. You're not going to be able to grab YouTube videos and just provide those links. It's all about you creating the multimedia that is part of your multimedia final project. So I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. I think most of you get that, but for some of you, I may have left that comment in the project planning form. So just be aware of that. So that being said, this week is where we really do start to work on all pieces of our final project in their separate forms. So this week is where we'll be doing the photo stories. If at all possible, do the photo story that's due at the end of this week on the topic that is your final project. For most of you, this should be feasible. For some of you, if you're planning to do an event that hasn't taken place yet, please see the additional video that I have posted about that, because if that is the case, then I have another suggestion for you. But for the most part, I think most of you should be able to take photos that are going to end up in your final project. So you'll be doing the photo slideshow portion of the project for this week. That allows me to give you feedback on it, to take a look at it, and to give you suggestions to improve on it before you add it into your final project. So the idea is that by you getting feedback on these separate pieces, by the time you put your final project together, it's going to be the best it can be. So it very well may be that I'll leave you feedback on your photo slideshow or your video or your map and suggest ways that you could improve it. So you might have to think about going out and retaking photos or retaking videos, or assembling it in a different way. Just keep that in mind. As far as what I'm looking for in the photo slideshow, consult the tutorials that I have on under content, under tutorials. I created a separate module that talks specifically about the photo slideshow. So you're creating the slideshow in YouTube. I have one tutorial that shows you how to add photos into a slideshow in YouTube, and a second tutorial on how to create captions for the photos. So make sure that you're looking at both of those. It's 8 to 10 photos is what you'll have for your photo slideshow. And as far as what the photos should look like, I have a PowerPoint presentation that's also available here under week 10, so please look through that. Those are notes that I've taken regarding a video that I show in the face-to-face version of this class about taking good photos, and also information that has been provided by Pat Chrisman, who is a photographer at the Free Press. He often comes into my class to talk about what makes for good photos and what makes for a good photo slideshow. So read through that PowerPoint presentation. The main things to keep in mind is that you should have a variety of photos. Your 8 to 10 photos should not all be the same. They should not all show the same thing. Think variety, think mix. Think in terms of close-up photos and long-range photos. Think in terms of photos that include people, photos that include more just landscapes. Think in terms of providing both vertical photos and horizontal photos. It really is all about variety. We do not want to bore our audiences by providing 8 to 10 shots that basically show the same thing. So that's what I'm really going to be looking for when I take a look at your photo slideshows. The discussion this week will just have you consider this topic more in depth. I want you to find a photo slideshow out there online that you think is really good. That incorporates some of the principles that I've mentioned in that PowerPoint. What makes it a good photo slideshow? So by taking a look at different links that are out there of photo slideshows, both the ones you find and the ones that your classmates find, we really should start to get a good sense of what makes for good photos and what makes for a compelling photo slideshow. And I want you to try to apply those principles and those characteristics to your own slideshow when you create it. So that's the discussion this week. So this week, all about the photos. So again, check out the tutorials on how to actually create your slideshow. Check out the PowerPoint so you know some of the things that I'm going to be looking for in your slideshow. And if you have any questions about the photos, if you have any questions about your midterm form, please do contact me. Please stop in during office hours or set up an appointment with me. I'm more than happy to talk to you about this information in person. Otherwise, I will see you on the discussion boards this week.